Oh man, those were good times. This channel's been around for a while and nothing's been posted on it for a pretty long time. So the subscribers are probably wondering what happened to Left to the Wild. This was a band that I started back in 2019 when I was in the military, and we had t-shirts, we had merch CDs, we had the whole deal. Not a ton of viewers and listeners necessarily, aside from all of you who I'm very thankful for. But we did the thing. We made music, we got it out there, we played concerts, lots of them. So what happened? Obviously nothing's been posted in a long time. But pretty much the story goes, back when I was in the Army, I started this band when I was in Korea in 2019. I wrote the 9 songs that are on this album, Wasteland, in Korea with some of my friends. They were helping me in some ways or others, or at least just giving me their criticism, until I found Blake Deal, who became the drummer. And then I saved up money while I was there. We came back to America, to Texas, where we were stationed at the time. And I used the money I saved up to get this album professionally made. Very proud of it. It's still something I look back on very fondly. And we played a bunch of concerts in the area around Austin, Texas, and did a whole bunch of stuff. We went on to make different EPs, singles, all these things. But of course, I couldn't afford to have them professionally done as I did this one. So I did it myself, which helped me to learn those skills of how to do that. And now myself, I'm actually went to Nashville, Tennessee for college, where I was learning how to do music production and even got a job in that field. But what happened to everyone else? So all the members that there was Blake Deal, who was the drummer and the co-founding member of the band. He's currently doing other things, working towards a professional career, all this stuff, and streaming on Twitch. So I'm going to provide a link either on the picture or in the description of his Twitch. Darko, who was in the band, parted ways with the band. That was towards the beginning, the first iteration of the band, because after that we got Jonathan Gonzalez, who has gone on to do more music with a different band called I Need a Weapon. And again, I'll provide links for all that. There was Tyler Ryan, who is also doing music still in a different band, which is a 9 Inch Nails cover band called Now I Have Nothing. That's what it's called, and I'll provide a link to that. And then we had a few other people along the way. A good friend of mine, Alec Arkin. I don't know what all he's doing regarding music or creative things like that right now, but I'm sure something will come up. Overall, what happened was I had this band in Texas. It was going really well, and we were all in the military initially. And then we all got out of the military. So that led to different things of where our lives were going to go from there. Some of us went back to our home states. Some went different directions. But ultimately, we were all led to different places. Most of the music of the band was stuff that I wrote, and as a result, I continued trying to keep the band going. Of course, there were a couple songs that were co-written by Johnny or by Blake, and they were, some of the really good songs too, but they also gave me permission to continue trying to do that. So when I went back to Illinois for a while, where I'm from, I tried to continue the band with different members, and that's where Tyler came in, my friend Alec. Then I came to Nashville for college, and of course I thought, Nashville, Tennessee. I'll find people here to keep the band going even more. But unfortunately, I did not. Not even at a school that is focused on music and the music industry. I did not find people interested in joining a pre existing metal band. So we just kind of went our separate ways at that point, anyone that was involved. And I didn't continue it. I started moving on to other things. I've created more music under different genres and stuff that will be coming out at some point in time in the future. But aside from that, I've been doing other projects. I've been trying to learn how to paint and draw and get better at that. As you can see right here is an example of one of my paintings. Of course, I'm not the best painter in the world, but I'm pretty happy with it, even though it's, maybe a little amateurish, but I like it a lot. And this actually is the cover of the first novel that I've written called The Price of Renewal. It's available on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, ebook, all those formats, and I'll provide a link to that as well. But I wanted to do this video just to kind of give some closure to Left to the Wild and to explain what happened and talk about some things that I learned through the process. So the story goes back before I had started that band. In my whole life as a kid, I was a creative type. I always wanted to make things, whether it be stories or songs or movies, whatever it was. I always wanted to do this stuff. But the problem was I would start a million projects and never finish any of them. Being in that band taught me how to complete a project, because for the first time I had completed something. This album right here. This is a huge milestone in my life, and I will always remember it for that reason. Through that process, developed my skills as a musician, as a writer, as a producer, all of these things that are now benefiting my life today. But most importantly, I learned how to finish something. And I've gone on to finish many things since, of all different types. And I learned that if you want to do something creative, if you want to be a musician, an artist, a filmmaker, any of this stuff, there are a few things that need to be in place. One, you need to be doing it for the right reasons. You cannot be trying to be, we'll use a musician as an example because this is a music channel. You cannot be using fame and success to be your driving motive to do these things. For some people, it's worked, of course, for very few. For most people, it's unlikely that you're going to be largely successful, that you're going to make money. It's unlikely that you're going to have a big following. So if that's the reason you're doing it, it's not worth it. Instead, if this is something you want to do, then you need to do it and do it for the sake of wanting to do it, for wanting to create something and have something to show. That's a successful driving factor. That will keep you going and keep you doing it even when you don't have the success. And one day, if you keep doing that, you just might find the success you're looking for. The thing is, a lot of people, especially young people, myself being one of these people when I was younger, they think, I don't really want to work a regular job. I don't want to do a warehouse or a fast food service industry job, something like this. And so you find something you're passionate in that you enjoy doing, like playing an instrument or making movies, film, home videos, things like that. And you think, okay, I'm going to pursue this. This will be an easier way to make money by doing something I enjoy doing. And then you learn it's not easy, it's not always enjoyable, and most of the time it doesn't make any money. And then you give up. And that's what happens for a lot of us. If you want to be a musician, you don't do it for that reason because you're going to be disappointed. You do it because you want to do it. Right now, anybody watching this can decide, I want to be a musician. I want to be an artist. I want to be a writer. And how do you do that? By doing those things. If you want to be a painter, you are a painter if you paint, not if you make the next Mona Lisa, or if you want to be a musician, not if you make the next To Pimp a Butterfly, right? It's because you made music. That's what makes you that. So if these are things you want to do, I often question, why are people not doing them, right? Some people say they want to be a musician. They don't have anything to show for it. They don't have music out there. They don't have all this stuff because they're waiting for the perfect opportunity. But that's not, it's rarely going to come. It's rarely going to work that way, especially if you've never done anything. If you want to be a musician, make music, write a song, record it with your phone, record it with a camera, buy software on your computer, use free software, do anything you have to do to make that music. Today, it's easier than ever to make music and put it out on the internet for people to see, to write a book and put it out on the internet for people to see, to make a movie and put it on the internet for people to see. People didn't have that opportunity 20 years ago. So if these are things you want to do, why are you not doing them? A lot of us spend time playing video games, watching TikTok, scrolling through social media, yet we say we want to be these things. Well, then take the time that you're spending doing all of these non-beneficial activities. I'm not saying you can't do those things here and there, but if you want to be a creative of some sort, use that time to do these things. When I was in the Army, I learned that a lot of my time was taken up from my career. But I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to have a band. I wanted to have music. And I learned that for me to do that, I had to spend the free time that I had working on these things. And I successfully did it. I made the music. I got it out there. I played live concerts all the time. I had the whole experience of it. Were we that successful? No. We didn't have a bunch of following. We have a lot of plays on some YouTube videos with a good amount of views, things like that. But we weren't making money. We weren't living off of it. We weren't touring. But that's besides the point. We still did it. We enjoyed it. And I learned a bunch of things that are benefiting my life in every other area today. I would have never gotten this book written had I not made this album. And so that's what happened to the band, and that is my advice to anybody that wants to be some sort of a creative. Just do the thing. Don't use the excuse of, oh, the opportunity hasn't come yet, or whatever. The opportunity is there right now, and you need to take it. If you have a song that you've written and you're holding on to it because you are waiting for the right time because that's your baby, that's your masterpiece, I've got news for you. You're going to make something better. As long as you plan to actually do this, you're going to make better songs. You're going to make better movies. You're going to write better things. So don't sit on the one thing that you've created and use that as an excuse to not make more things. Put it out there. Like in 10 years, if you keep making songs, you're going to look back on that song and be like, wow, everything I've made since then practically has been better than that. It's not your masterpiece. That is yet to come. So keep making stuff. You have to fail in order to succeed. And the more that you put off those failures, the more that you're putting off the success. So that's my advice, and that's what happened to Left to the Wild. But again, I'm providing all the links to things that the different members are doing today, and please go and check them out. I'm sure everyone would appreciate it. A subscription, a follow on Twitch or whatever it may be for whoever it is. So thank you guys for your time and your support.